Just gone 11:15, BBC Radio Oxford, Annie Othen with you. Now, performing on the nation's most famous stage, I suspect, is any performer's dream, and one that has come true for 18-year-old percussionist Jo Sancio. Jo recently performed at the Royal Albert Hall, no less, with the Oxfordshire County Youth Orchestra, but her incredible story of success is not a conventional one. I'm delighted, though, that she's joined us in the studio. Good morning. Congratulations, first of all, fantastic performance at the Royal Albert Hall. What was it like performing there?
It was just amazing. I don't think I could ever recreate that moment. It was just the sound of the music was amazing there. Yeah,
and it is such an epic arena, I guess, to perform in as well. How did you get involved in the Oxfordshire County Youth Orchestra?
My carer brought me along to a performance they were doing in Dorchester Abbey, and we sat there and listened, and I just knew instantly I wanted to go.
And you wanted to perform? When you came with your carer and you came together, had you had much percussion experience?
No. I did play the trumpet when I was about 10 years old, and then a bit of piano as well, but that's about it. So what was it, do you think, that your carer saw in you and you saw in the music that suddenly fused together to such success? I think it's that the music gives me a lot of confidence. I was quite shy as a young girl, and like performing up on stage in front of thousands of people, that's just brought up my confidence a lot. And if somebody had said that to you a few years ago? I'd be laughing, saying,
Get out of here, no way. On a serious point, Jo, how did you going into foster care, into a foster family, I think you were 14?
Yeah.
How did that affect you?
Well, the school that I was going to at that time was half an hour away, so I didn't get to see any friends and stuff like that, so it's quite hard. I felt quite isolated. But my foster family have been amazing through that.
So how have they helped you with performing and indeed with your music? Because as anyone will say, you know, when you've got a kid who's into music, my son used to play the piano and the sax. Oh my God, the trundling back and forth with instruments, and you've got percussion. It's a big commitment.
Yeah, it's lucky that I don't have to carry any instruments around. But they always take me to every rehearsal and come to all the concerts and watch me perform and everywhere.
And it's a real... And how does that make you feel when you're up there on stage, wherever that stage may be, whether it's Royal Albert Hall or somewhere smaller, that you know that they're there and they're rooting for you?
Oh, it feels really good. I mean, I kind of forget that the people are there just to like try to calm the nerves down, but it's really nice to see them afterwards and hear that they really like the performance.
How much do you think... I mean, clearly you're a very talented musician, but how much has your foster family transformed your confidence, do you think?
I guess it's just they've always pushed me to do things that I definitely wouldn't have done.
Like what?
I've done a volunteering service for the last 4 summers, and I did not want to go the first day, and my foster carer just dropped me off and said,
off you go.
All right, bye. That's basically it, yeah.
And it's really helped your confidence. Yeah. Also joining us, though, is your music teacher at Gosford School. I love the way she laughs when I say the music teacher's here. Do we call him Mr. Wright, or is he Nick Wright? Anyway, Nick, good morning.
Good morning.
Describe Jo to us, because she's being very modest here.
She's a very committed student, and she's a very talented student, and I mean, you don't get to be able to play in the County Youth Orchestra, and certainly not in a very big concert like the Albert Hall without being very good at your instrument. And so Jo's a fantastic musician, but she's very committed, and she's very outgoing these days. What she was saying about sort of music having given her confidence, that's a common theme for children and teenagers, particularly with music, and it's obviously worked in Jo's case.
I mean, just to stand up and play in front of someone is an enormous ask, whatever your skill as a musician, but clearly helped to boost her confidence. I feel we're just talking about her now. She's in the room, but we're talking about her. Is it inspiring for you as a teacher, though, Nick, to see talent come through, and talent that's been nurtured and actually succeed?
Oh yes, absolutely, and I think the important thing is that talent should be able to come through irrespective of background, and irrespective of sort of early opportunities. And I think obviously that's very difficult to achieve, but in Jo's case, it's a good example of how a supportive background, whether that's a family or a carer, a foster family, giving them that boost, and then agencies like the County Music Service and the school supporting what they do, gives children the opportunity to really realise that talent that they've got.
You see, I'm a huge supporter of, and I do things in other parts of the country to support music in schools and music like the County Music Service and peripatetic teachers and so on, because I think it's probably one of the most important things on the curriculum. I stand to be shot down in flames here by people, but I do think that playing a musical instrument, whether it's your own voice through singing or performing through dance, or whether it's just picking up a musical instrument, is so important.
Absolutely, and that's why, I mean, it's vitally important that we, in schools, in secondary schools and colleagues in primary schools, continue to offer music to all children at the start of their
But it is one of those areas that gets cut back, isn't it? You know, local authorities' budgets are squeezed, you know, there's money to be spent in other places, and quite often it's music that gets squeezed.
Absolutely, and they're difficult times these days compared to maybe where that funding might have been in the past. But you know, it's examples of great students like Jo and others that, and hopefully the teaching staff as well, that keep reminding everyone of the importance of music and the difference it can make to children's lives.
Well, proof in the pudding with Jo. Story. I think we should bring her back in the conversation. Just pretend he's not listening, okay, Jo? Pretend Nick's not there now. What's he really like as a teacher?
He's really nice, yeah.
She's all right. It's all praise. It's fine. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just been part of that jigsaw, isn't it? Because you can have the best teacher in the world and great family support, but you've got to have the talent and the motivation, which you've clearly had as well. It's not the only thing you do, though. You're also chair of Oxfordshire's Children in Care Council.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you do there.
We try to change the lives of children in care as much as possible, make it better.
What one thing would improve their lives?
I think it's just happiness, really. I just want everybody to be happy.
Oh. Well, you're studying for A-levels at the moment, and you're doing your music as well, so quite a big ask. Do you hope to go on and make music your career?
I actually want to go into art, but
I told you, Mr. Right, didn't I? I told you.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'll definitely do music.
But you'll always have that music, won't you? Fantastic. Next performance?
I have no idea. The music service keep asking me back.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Sarah said. What's happening on Thursday?
Gosford Hill School carol service on Thursday evening. St Mary's Church in Kensington.
So glad you reminded her, Nick. She may well have just let that pass by. Look, every continued success and so deserved, and you should feel rightly proud. And Nick, long may music be foremost and on the forefront of school curricula, because I do think it's so important. Thank you both very much indeed. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you.
BBC Radio Oxford.